If you're installing PostgreSQL for the first time, then you either have heard that there are multiple ways of installing it and you're confused, or you haven't heard that there are multiple ways, you just do it the first way you have found, and you may end up doing it the wrong way. So in this video, I give an overview of the options and I explain which one to choose and why.
I was about to install Postgres using a step-by-step wizard like in video tutorials, but then a developer friend said to me, just use Docker. I started looking at other installation options, and it seems I opened a can of worms. Now I'm confused and wanted to ask, which way is the right way?
There are many strong opinions out there, but actually choosing the right way is a simple decision that takes into account the goal and the situation. Let's start with the goal. Tell me, why are you installing Postgres?
I want to learn SQL beyond just writing queries. I want to know how to create and manage databases.
Okay, then let me explain what to install and when. Let's call it a database administrator learning path. The first step is to install Postgres using the setup wizard, also called native installer. It's called native because it installs Postgres directly onto your operating system. Docker would be different, but when you install it natively, you learn to manage database at a system level, which is important for a DBA. Native installer includes two very important tools, pgAdmin and psql. pgAdmin is a graphical tool, and psql is a command line tool. pgAdmin is very useful when you start learning Postgres because it allows you to see the database structure. It has a query editor, a graphical explain feature, schema difference tool, and so on. And when you gain confidence with pgAdmin, then you start getting comfortable with psql, because at some point you will need psql for the low level control. Once you're comfortable with psql, you can learn how to install Postgres using a package manager, which is a command line tool that fetches Postgres from a repository and installs it on your system. It's actually a standard way to install Postgres among DBAs. When you reach code level, then you can download Postgres source code, compile, and install it yourself.
Okay, got it. Also, my sister wants to install Postgres. She doesn't want to become a DBA, but she needs to use a database for the game that she is making for a school project.
So you have a little sister. How old is she?
She's 11. Her name is Gianna.
Okay. For an 11-year-old, or for someone who just needs an easy way to use Postgres, I recommend Postgres app. It's a Postgres installation packaged as a standard Mac application. So you download it and drag it into the applications folder, double click to install. And that's the easiest way to get started with Postgres on a Mac.
But she's not on a Mac, she's on Linux.
Linux. Your little sister is on Linux.
Yes, she's a great developer. Now she's making a game based on her hobby, parkour. Her plan is to assemble a team to work on it, and her dream is to release it to the public.
So you have a great sister, Gianna, who is making a parkour game. Are you kidding me right now?
No, I'm serious. Why?
Never mind. Okay, so let's expand on this more. Let's call it a developer path, and let's make two options. And let's mark them as Mac and Linux. If she wants to onboard more developers and eventually to deploy to production, then it's best to start with Docker. Docker is a platform that offers so-called containers, and you install Postgres not directly into your operating system, but inside a container. The idea is that this container can be moved somewhere else, and everything inside will work exactly the same way. And that's useful when you need different environments, for example, for development, testing, and production. And when you need to onboard new team members, you can easily go from Docker to Docker Compose, which is a tool for defining and running multi-container applications. And that makes it easy to ensure that your whole team has the same setup. And eventually, when she's ready to make the game public, she should get a managed cloud service. Because she already has experience containerizing with Docker, it will be easy to configure the container for production grade and then put it on the cloud.
Okay, I understand. If Docker is so useful, why don't I start with it? If I want to join her development team later and help with the database.
You can. There are a couple of issues with that. First of all, you're on a Mac and Docker on Linux runs natively, but when it's on a Mac, then it actually runs a Linux virtual machine in the background, and that consumes system resources, and many people complain about performance. And secondly, you want to learn about databases, and Docker adds a layer of abstraction, which means that there will be things that you won't learn. That said, you can do this. Let's call it middle path, more suitable for those on a Mac. Start with a native installer, just like DBA. But then at some point, you can also install Docker. Because Docker gives you containers, it means that you can have Postgres installed on your system natively and inside a Postgres container at the same time. And you will have multiple Postgres servers with different Postgres versions running at the same time, and they will not interfere with each other. And that way you can pursue one of the paths or both of them at the same time.
That is very clear, thank you.
Glad that helps. That's that for today. By the way, about your sister, we have partnered with local schools to teach practical business skills to kids. We have one spot open. Maybe Gianna would like to learn some interesting details of running a cat hotel.
She loves cats. I will tell her about this.
And I would love to meet her. See you later.
Bye.
Now you know the options and the reasoning, which option to choose based on your goal and your situation and your operating system. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.